Hello and welcome to this week's test drive. And I'm Brenda Dempsey, CEO of Book Brilliance Publishing, and I'm on a mission to help business owners elevate their brand, become the authority and the go-to expert in their field, so that they can grow their business and make a difference to their bottom line and ensure that they are attracting their ideal clients. So, what are we going to talk about this week? Let me share with you what we're going to be talking about, and it's disappeared. Hold on. Just love technology, don't you? A bit slow. Here we go. So let me share the screen. And here we go. So gone are the days of 5, 10 years ago when you just wrote and published your book. Today, the world sees business owners having a book as a greater opportunity to build a brand and increase the visibility with the business book so that they have more credibility and authority. As soon as you put your ideas, your philosophy, your words of wisdom into a book, then you are elevating yourself above the rest of the business owners, because only 3% of business owners actually write and publish their book. But we like to take you beyond the book. But let's look today at more into building your brand to increase your visibility. So let's begin. If you're watching the replay, welcome. Any questions, put them below the video. So let's see what we're going to talk about. So maybe you want to become an industry expert. People in your industry see you at the top of the tree. Or maybe you're wanting more credibility. Because when we have that credibility, it's all about that know, like, and trust. And a book helps you have more trust with your audience. And of course, in your book is all your ideas and your experiences through storytelling that helps you become a thought leader. And of course, many of the business owners I speak to want a book and they want to be speaking on stages. Many of them who deem themselves experts in the field want that book to give that credibility and open the doors of opportunity to share their message. But possibly you might want a wider audience. And in today's world, well, at Book Brilliance Publishing, when you publish a book, you have over 200 countries and 40,000 outlets that your book can be found online. So therefore, we are about a global reach. Maybe you have, possibly you've got an idea of getting into a particular country. So for us, we are making inroads in Dubai and the USA. The great thing about having a book is that possibly you want new connections. You want to introduce to more potential, maybe it's not so much the readers, but maybe it's the business partners, or possibly you want greater brand awareness. You want that recognition when people see you, see your logo, see your colors, they know who you are. Just like if we think of McDonald's, we think of the golden arches, we see the tick of the Just Do It Nike, and we see the trusted Apple in Apple. So how recognizable are you in your industry? These are some of the reasons why you're wanting to write that book. But potentially you want to create a lead magnet, to generate those leads into your business so that it can grow, you can attract more clients, and of course, back to that bottom line. Or maybe you see it as a marketing tool. It helps you target your audience. And that's one of the things about writing a book. Your brand audience is one of the critical elements that we dive deep into to ensure you've got great clarity and understanding. So your ideal reader, your ideal client is your best friend. And of course, potentially you want no sales growth. Who doesn't want to have more money in their business? We all do. That's why we're in business, to make money. But it's more than money, it's making a difference. And of course, with a book, it's about making an impact, inspiring your clients into action, the readers to become your clients. This is what a book can do for you. But perhaps you're, as a marketing tool, you want it to elevate your brand. So as a marketing tool, you have to have clarity on how are you using it as that marketing tool, because there's many ways that you can do it. And perhaps it's the credibility. Recently, we did a poll, and 60% of that poll felt that credibility was the main reason they wanted to write a book. Credibility, authority, and go-to expert in the field is the top reasons people want to write a book. You want to be positioning yourself, leveraging that content and making you stand out from the rest in a crowded marketplace. And of course, visibility. So social media, online, offline, get yourself out there, be known. Make sure you've got that $1 million message, that you're repeating the same thing. Do not deviate. You need laser focus and make sure that you are saying the same message over and over again. You can shift the lens depending on who your audience is. But of course, the book will increase your visibility and your name will become more recognizable over time. And books always attract people who are interested in finding out more about you, finding out about what you do, and are you the right person for them? Are you the one that they are looking for? And of course, at Book Brilliance, we bring out your brilliance to attract those more leads into your business. So let's look at, we've got 9 amazing reasons here of the power of that business book. And so we've already said these. So we're just kind of summarizing what we've just been saying. So brand awareness. Are you clear on your brand? Do you have a brand strategy with the 9 elements? If you don't, you don't need to go to a brander and pay 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 pounds just for branding alone. Here at Book Brilliance Publishing, we create that brand strategy with those 9 elements. Improve credibility. We select the key aspects of your philosophy using case studies, using your experience, your education, and we make sure that's highlighted in your book. So you've got that improved credibility. We enhance visibility because together we work on a marketing strategy across social media to make sure that you're visible, that you're seen, heard, and noted, as we say. Thought leadership. Of course, your book is full of ideas. It's full of all those things that you've thought of, that you've developed, all those failures that you've had, those lessons that you've learned. They go into your thought leadership, looking to beyond where we are today. What do we need to do today in order to be better tomorrow? The new connections, whether it's new clients, it's new partnerships, you have affiliates, whatever it is, being clear on what new connections you want and how you're going to go about that, and strategizing that will help you make those new connections. They will happen anyway. Your social media will certainly grow. Lead generation. This is one of the key elements of having a book that we dive deep into when we get to Business Brilliance, which is stage 5 of the author's adventure, where we look at your brand, your business model, we look at your filter, your funnel, sorry, and where will your book fit into that funnel? And of course, looking at sales growth over time. You know, you really want to be tracking that between your book sales, new clients, and you might want to shift the lens a little bit and look at sales, not just in monetary terms, but some of the benefits that you will receive with a business book goes beyond the money in the back. Some of it is priceless, like the authority that you'll get is speaking on some stages that are only open to business owners who have a book. And remember that 3%. You want to be one of that 3%. There we go, the speaking engagements. So let me tell you a little story about one of our clients, Julie Lewis, who is in Dubai. Earlier on in the year, I think it was just before our book launch, around about March, she spoke on the Gladiator stage in Dubai alongside Marissa Peers, who is the #1 UK hypnotherapist, who's a big Mind Valley coach, and more and more speaking engagements have happened for Julie since the launch of her book Uncharted Waters. And just yesterday, it was revealed that she's speaking again on the Gladiator stage in November, but this time alongside Vision, who is the founder of Mind Valley. Boy, is Julie scaling in her authority as a sought after leader, and she speaks regularly in Dubai, online, and around the Middle East. And of course, we said the marketing tool. So, how are you going to use your book to market? Who you are, what you talk about, and the difference you make in people's life. So your book, it demonstrates your expertise because within the pages, you will be sharing your knowledge, the insights, your reflections, and that then creates you and establishes you, sorry, as an expert. So when you demonstrate it through maybe some of the activities that you do, of course, we like to have a dippable interactive book here at Book Brilliance Publishing, so we will help you with that. And not only do you demonstrate the expertise, but you get validation just by having a published book, and a quality published book at that. This is not self-publishing where there's no regulation. We here at Book Brilliance Publishing are highly qualified, so therefore you get that validation that your expertise and what you're saying in that book has got credibility in your field. Using case studies is a great way to do it, leveraging yourself alongside other titans in your field, and using research. These are 3 of the main ways in which you can gain authority in your field. And of course, thought leadership. You with thought leadership, you again, it's going back to all those ideas that you're putting in there, your perspectives. Have you shown that your perspectives have changed over time? It's really great in your book if you can be vulnerable and show some of the failures and what you did to turn those failures into victories. People want to have that relatability to you, so they want those personal stories, they want the universal stories, they want the metaphor. These will all engage them in your book and keep them turning the page. You'll be seen as a thought leader, particularly if you come out with new ideas. And we never reinvent an idea. So let me tell you about Simon Sinek, start with why. So he took a principle from, decades previously and brought it into the current time when he published his book. I'm trying to remember the date, actually. It's in the 2000s. So and one of the things is in my training as a teacher, we were starting with why. So this wasn't something new entirely for Simon Sinek. Just like all our ideas are not always new because the wheel's been invented. So therefore, but we look at we create our own version of that. So Simon Sinek, he believed that it was time to bring back to businesses, start with that why, not what you're doing, but why you're doing it. What's the purpose? What's the passion? Where are your values? Because this is where you build the deep foundations into your business. This is what gives you credibility. This is what helps people trust you. this is how you reflect your values with the with your readers and engagement. So, and of course, you need to build trust. And being an author is an assured way of building trust. Particularly if it's a quality book, you can lose trust if you do not have a professionally published book. It's easy to, diminish the quality and your authority if you haven't said it in specific ways with the right evidence, so you can damage your brand more than you can build the trust. So making sure that you've got a great partner on the journey for your book. And then if the readers love what they say, of course, at the back of the book, we're going to put how they can get in touch with you. And many of our clients, people read, they come and they become clients of theirs. And sometimes people become a client, they get the book, and then they are they're giving reviews, and they're telling their friends all about it. And before you know it, you've got referrals, and it builds like that. So you need that trust, and your book can be a great starting point for that. So your expertise is an asset. Your book is an asset. And the great thing about your book, you've got the legacy. I think it might actually come in the next slide. Maybe I'll leave it to the end, so I'll leave it to the next slide. Because your knowledge is an asset. No one's got the same knowledge as you and experiences. Like, we all might know the earth is round, so that's a piece of knowledge. But what else you bring to that piece of knowledge can make it quite unique, because we're all unique. We think differently, we see things differently, we absorb information differently. Just like when you go to a football match, you've got two opposing sides, they see the same game, the winning team, their fans love it, and the losing team, well, they've got a whole different view on the same game. So, knowledge. Ideas. How can you make your ideas different from the next person who's talking about, let's say it's branding, for example. Maybe you're writing a book on brand. So what is it about you that makes you unique? So there's a lot of self-reflection. So there's a lot of transformation goes on in writing your book, because you will have to reflect on what you believe. You have to go and do your research. Well, what are my competitors saying? What are other thought leaders in this genre of brand? What are they saying? And what am I bringing to it that's different? So let me tell you how we're different, because I bring an educational background, so that's expertise coming in. Plus, because I've been developed in holistic development, I've now introduced holistic development into becoming an entrepreneur. It's not just an author, you're an entrepreneur. So therefore, all of my knowledge, all of my training, all of my understanding, what I see makes success, I've now brought into this business. That idea is quite unique in the world of publishing. So I'm just wanting you to start thinking, what is unique about you? Revenue, of course. Now, the thing about a book, so for book sales, I encourage you to see that as passive income, because people can buy your book all around the world when you're sleeping. So, and that's not going to make you rich unless you're selling millions of copies of your book. And unless your name's Stephen King or J.K. Rowling, then that's not exactly why you have a business book. A business book's more about opening doors of opportunity. It's more about those flagship programs that you can create as a book and charge 10, 15, 20,000 pounds for people to be on your program. So that revenue quickly can get into your 6 and even 7 figures. And of course, the connections that you get as an author are priceless. Other experts who in your field who've got books, what happens, so like with Julie Lewis, as I said, she has a book, and so therefore other experts in her field, in the well-being field, they the big ones who put on the Gladiators, they've reached out to her because her book is so great and it's an international best-selling book. So these are, so it's potential clients, potential partners, potential collaborators, and maybe investors, who knows? So again, these are some of the ways in which you can leverage your business book to drive traffic and sales. So when you're putting your promotion out there, you're speaking about it, you're interviewing, you can definitely do it. And I would, here it's saying about going to your website. Do not underuse your website. Your website you have full control over. Social media platforms collapse tomorrow, you've lost all of those connections. So you need that list. You need people going to your website. You need to be using those lead generations, giving a free chapter of your book, giving a bonus chapter of your book, whatever it is to drive people to your website and take ownership of your list. And of course, social media. You've got a massive audience again across social media. You've got more than one platform, but I would say, first of all, find one platform and nail it, and then look at the platforms and why do you want to go on particular platforms. So X, which is losing a bit of popularity, but it's still up there with media, and you know it's got a great book community. So if you want the media, you know, use hashtag journal request and things like that, you can get yourself on platforms that you wouldn't otherwise get on if you hadn't the book. And of course, podcasts. Create your own podcast. Invite your own big name guests onto your podcast. And of course, then people will reach out to you. Recently, in this last month, I am having requests from podcasters that I'm looking at their guest list and then my name is going on it. And this is what happens when you're passionate about your topic and you've got that book and you're making a difference, but making an impact. These people want to talk to you. Don't underestimate people are following you. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, someone had been following me for 2 to 3 years before they reached out to me, and then asked me to be in one of their magazines and things like that. So people are watching you all the time. So you need to love what you do and do what you love and just find joy in the process. So, of course, here we go. This is where we're talking about legacy. So your book is a lasting impact. So every book that we publish goes to the British Library, and it goes to all the other libraries in the other countries in the UK, so Scotland, Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Wales, and the depository. So you've got a legacy in the annals of all time, your book in these great establishments. So it's so important that you are recognized for your brand, that it's trustworthy, that it helps you grow on a global stage. You're inspiring people to take action. You're changing lives. That is what a book can do. It will change people's lives. Here's a question. Put in the chat, put below this video, what book has changed your life? So the book that really made a big impact on me as an adult in the area that I'm in now in personal development was The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. His storytelling techniques is second to none. And I love psychology. So all the psychology of people's behavior, you know, how the psychology impacts behavior. And for me, and it's compounded, whether you're positive or whether it's negative. So if you don't do exercise, you're just going to get fatter and more unhealthy over time. But if you're someone who takes regular exercise and watches what they eat, you will maintain a better physical shape. So remember, a book is a valuable asset. It is one of the best assets that you can have in your arsenal as a business owner. So make sure that you use it and a book will go on. Just think of Stephen Covey. His book is still 30 years on, is still topping the charts, is still making millions of pounds. Napoleon Hill, a book written 100 years ago, still still people are buying that book, they're downloading it. So are you going to be one of those? Are you going to be one of those authors? And don't think you cannot be. You can be anything you want when you set your mind to it. So there we have it for today. I'm sure that's the end. That's us. I'll stop sharing. So I hope you've enjoyed finding out about how a book will increase your brand and through your visibility, open doors of opportunity way beyond those that you can potentially think about today. So this is Brenda saying, be brilliant. Much love. Until the next test drive, see you later.